Welcome to the ripple effect of love for dads and families. Today, for episode 83, the power of play to connect. What does that mean? Let me just move this out of the way. So, there we go. And did you know that play is one of the fastest ways to build trust and connection with your kids? Whether they're 3 or 13, play breaks down the walls and strengthens the bonds. So, what is it that you want to have happening with your child? Are you having experiences that are quite challenging and you would like to be able to, get that connection going again? Yesterday we had an amazing guest, Ashok, and he ended the episode with play, the power of play, how important it is to play with our children. Think back when you were little, when your dad played with you. How did that feel? Or when your mom played with you. Doesn't matter if it's mom or dad or grandparents or cousins. And wasn't that just the best time? So there are things to think about when we are talking about play to connect. It becomes powerful when we self regulate. Yeah, you don't want to hear that again, do you? It's okay. But self regulation is like the number one priority, in my opinion. And we heard Ashok mention that again yesterday. Self regulate, self regulate. And he gave many, many different tips yesterday, which were really kind of cool. So you could, yes, there was the laughter, the soft music, give or get a hug, gentle home base sense, clean sense. There's so many things on the market that may not be. Oh, be in nature, right? Look at the flowers. Let your infant, see the flower as well. That's kind of cool. I've never tried that with a little one to bring them to see a flower. So, and we also talked about ask a question. So while you're playing, ask them, what do you like most about this game? Or even when you are organizing the play, what is it that you would like to do? And we've got to set, in my opinion, we have to set certain boundaries. If every time you play, they want to play a game that you can't stand, maybe find a new game. Or if you know you only have 20 minutes, but you bought a game at Christmas that lasts 2 hours, find games that are quick. There are many with teens. When my teens, just before I go with the teens, do things with your children. Just do things with them, whether you're cooking, whether you're fixing a car, doesn't matter what you're doing, bringing them to work, whatever. Do things with them when you can, right? When you can, obviously. We understand schedules are busy, things are kind of crazy. But it's like in business, when you add something, you take something away, maybe if it's a bit time consuming. So, what is it in your schedule that you want to kind of move to the side and replace with play? Maybe there's a way. How can you play doing dishes? If you have an idea how you can play while doing dishes, put that down. How can you play doing laundry? How can laundry become fun? So what if it takes 5 minutes extra to do the laundry? Really? If you had fun, isn't that worth it? Remember back when you were young. Yes, maybe you remember the times you got in trouble, but can you remember those quality times you had with your parents? So, dads, I know you can do this. I know you can be creative. and find some very fun ways to play. And laughter is essential for family harmony. Why is it essential? Well, my simple reason is walk in a home where everybody's arguing. How does that feel? Does that feel good? Does that calm our whole nervous system? Do we want to be there? No. I'm sure there are places you go sometimes with the family and kids are like, we don't want to go there, mom and dad, but we have to. Grandma's going to be there and so is going to be there. So, how can you start adding a bit of fun and laughter to that family activity, right? There's always ways, and it's not easy. It may not be easy at first, and that's okay if it's not easy at first, because the point is not, I'm only doing what's easy. So the easiest thing is not to go, maybe, right? If you're comfortable with that, and if that's what you want, and you've looked at all your value system and it's the best thing, then that's what it is. However, if it means putting aside an important connection with a family member and you really want to go, how can fun and laughter and play? I have so many fond memories of Christmas playing with the teens, the young ones and the teens. That was my favorite thing. I connect really well with children, and I just love being in the space with them. When they got to be 18, well, then the connection was kind of gone because they were into more the adult things, and that they didn't care to share, what they were up to, which was okay. And I totally understand. And so, how can you use the Snap, Tap, and Zap to help you shift from stress to play? Well, the first thing that comes to mind for me is you on your way home from work. If you work outside, take a deep breath, snap, tap, and put that stress that you had during the day, those maybe there were disagreements, maybe there were conflicts, and put them on the spiraling train and tune in to love. Breathe in love. What does love look like? What would it look like to walk into your home where there's joy and there's harmony? I'm not saying that one time you're doing this, it's going to work. I'm saying practice it until you get there. If it takes a month, it takes a month. If it takes 2 years, it takes 2 years. But will it not be, isn't it worth it? It is worth it, in my opinion. If it takes you 2 years to get harmony in your home, and then you've got 6 years and 10 years, the rest of your lives, harmony in your home, wouldn't that be just like the most amazing thing, right? Sometimes we think, oh, it wasn't this. Here's your snap, Christine. And I tried, it didn't work. I was working with a client the other day, and, you know, issues with the teens, and it went really well. The next week, something happened and they're off. That's okay. But sometimes we need to look beyond what happened. Are your children showing you that inside of you there's a conflict that you need to resolve with yourself? That's also a possibility. Interesting. My kids are fighting because I have a conflict within me. Who would have thought that was a possibility, right? I would not have understood that way back when my kiddos were little. They're 25 and 33 today. Woo! Yep. Lost those little kids that you could lift up in the air and throw around, right? It's okay. They're still amazing kids. So if you snap, tap, breathe in, and just get yourself regulated. Breathe in. Be very, very aware to your breath. sitting in the vehicle for a few minutes before you can go in, before you choose to go in, can be very, very important. It can make the difference between walking in, there's chaos, but you're calm, and it calms them down, or walking in and just becoming part of the chaos. So, how do you stay the calm person when you walk in and it's like the third day in a row or the third month in a row that you walk into the house and there's chaos and you're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So, take a deep breath in. Maybe it's time to show some of the family members how to do Snap Tap Zap with you so that they can self regulate. Do it in front of them, they'll see. You stay calm, and that calmness will have a ripple effect throughout the family. It is possible. I have seen it done many times. So I send you lots of courage and determination to choose to self regulate. If you don't want to do Snap Tap Zap, that's okay. Maybe you just want to go out in nature, get the kids out while the other person is preparing the meal so they can do that in peace and quiet. Bring the kids to a park close by for 15 minutes, half an hour. And if you have toddlers, I've said this before, but I'm going to say it because we're talking about play to connect. They're playing along and they don't want to leave. When it's time, you self regulate yourself really well. Make sure you're super calm, super grounded, that your voice is in your heart. Now, what does that mean? When you put your hands on your chest, can you hear the vibration of your voice? Well, the first time I did this, there was no way I was hearing the vibration of my voice in my chest. It took a lot of practice, but I know I'm really well aligned to love when I put my hands on my heart and I talk and I can feel the vibration happening. Okay? If you put your hand here, of course there's a vibration, but down here, is there also a vibration in your heart where you're sharing from a place of love? I know you can do it. So we're at the playground. You're in a place of love. What if you just pick up the toddler, tap gently on their back while you've got them on your hip maybe, or over the shoulder gently, and tell them, remember how it felt when you were that age. How did it feel to be taken away from something that you wanted to do? Maybe you can compromise and say, okay, we can stay 5 minutes. But if you're doing that, I would give the time limit. Let's say you're going out for 20 minutes. At 15 minutes, I'd ask them to come in and or if they want 5 minutes. So they get a choice. If they're super hungry, they'll want to go back in. And if they've got enough energy, they'll want to continue to play, right? And then when you pick up the toddler, you self regulate and you're breathing into your lower belly. You're talking from your heart and you're sharing how you would have felt when you were little. Oh, I know. Isn't it annoying to leave the park when we're having so much fun? And they'll look at you. I've done it with a stranger, even that I had only known for 45 minutes, a 2.5-year-old. And I was able, after 30 minutes, to take him away from the park. I tapped on his back gently along the spine. I talked to him about what emotions I thought he might be feeling and told him it's okay. You're allowed to be sad. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to be frustrated. Whatever I felt in that moment was the emotion that child was feeling. And I said, would you like to walk back? And he's like, yeah. He took my hand and we walked back. Isn't that beautiful? So I did not confront the child. I self-regulated first, had the child self-regulate, acknowledge what was going on, most likely in his head. And then, once he was calm and he had self regulated because I had self regulated, offered to just take his hand and walk back, which he did with joy, and we chatted. It was beautiful. So, what could have been somebody dragging a toddler under the arm or on the shoulder back to mom ended up being a beautiful time for both of us. So that's why self-regulation, whether you use Snap Tap Zap or any of the others that were given, sometimes just a nice big hug will do. But in a situation where you're taking a child away from the park after only 20 minutes, 25 minutes, you may um, want something that's a little bit more powerful. Okay, three quick ways to bring more fun into your daily routine. Oh, I started with that. How can you make laundry more fun? How can you make dishes? Making the bed, if it's important for you for beds to be made. When I started, the beds were always made. And then by the time my children were about 5, it was like, okay, you can do your bed if you want. Would you like some help? Would you like to do it alone? I allowed space for beds to be unmade, and I had stopped. There's things that we do. We need to evaluate. If you need to have everything well done and well organized, keep doing it, please. Find ways though that can be fun to do it with your child. Maybe you want to cover them up and then pull them out and then have them just flat out the blankets and laugh about it, right? Maybe you need to find those short games. There's some card games, the memory games where you flip the cards over that are really fun to support fun, easy. Look for easy in the beginning, easy, fun things to play. Yesterday I talked about the wheelbarrow. When we're picking up some leaves. Of course, I wouldn't put their Sunday clothes on. And they had some clothes just to get dirty where they rolled around. And I did not care if they rolled around or not in the mud, in the leaves, the dirty leaves, right? And just let them enjoy it. Put the leaves in, put the kid, wheelbarrow, dump it all out. Make sure the kid is, of course, in the direction that makes sense, that they won't hurt themselves, or let them hop off before you dump the leaves, whatever feels right, but have fun. If your children like to play soccer, baseball, go out and play with them. I tried that when I was teaching grade 5, and the kids loved it that I would go out and play soccer, baseball at recess once in a while with them. I thought it was so much fun. And it changed the atmosphere in the class. So, whether you're in a classroom, whether you're in a home with many kids or just one child, take care and bring yourself back to you, self regulate. So, what's something fun you and your kids love to do? Please share in the chat so that we can learn from what you've discovered. I don't have all the answers, so help us bring more answers to um, to the other dads that are here listening and learning from one another. Okay, so thank you so much. Hope you had a great time and learned something new today. If there's anything, the QR code at the top is the one to book a discovery call, or if you want my email or my email or website are right there. And it's so important to take care